Colombian career. He has Colombia in front 3-1.
And it carries out of here. The first pick. Germany has busted it open. It's 8-2 in the sixth.
Off the glove. Coming home to score. China has its first lead.
Got him with a swing and miss. An incredibly impressive performance from Brazil.
The sun may be setting on downtown Tucson, but we are just getting warmed up on day one of the WBC qualifiers. Tonight, Game 2 of our doubleheader features Brazil and Colombia as we come to you live from Kino Sports Complex here in Tucson, Arizona. And once again, we welcome you to our booth here in Tucson. Alongside former Pittsburgh Pirate and Chicago Cub Stephen Brault, I'm Greg Caserta. And earlier today, day one, on game one of our doubleheader, we saw China get 10-run ruled by Germany. They pulled away late. Now it's time for the two South American teams to get after it.
Yeah, Germany really brought out the bats today. They came as an offensive juggernaut early, and I think tonight we're going to see a little bit more pitching between both of these South American teams.
We know that styles make fights. First, let's take a look at the map. Brazil, number 23 in the world rankings. Colombia, 10 spots higher at number 13. Respectively, they're ranked number 11 and number 8 in South America. Venezuela, the number 1 team down there. But a lot has to happen for these two teams to advance and get into the WBC. Let's start with Colombia. We know that the talent's there. We know that the experience is there, and yet they've come oh so close to breaking through and get to that next level. They're looking for their third straight appearance in the WBC.
Yeah, Colombia's lost a lot of heartbreakers in the WBC. They have done everything they need to get there. The problem is taking that next step, getting over the hump, and really doing some damage in the WBC. You see all these close games that they have lost, including the United States in 2017. They did that again in 2023. They beat Mexico to start it. Then they lost in an upset to Great Britain, which secured their spot in next year's WBC. Then they were shut out, unfortunately, 5-0 by Canada. And then they had to play the USA, and Mike Trout did Mike Trout things.
He sure did. He kind of took the baton from David Wright and became Captain America. It was the last time Mike Trout was at the top of his game. Drove in all 3 American runs. They ended up winning that game 3-2. Unbelievable stuff from not too far away at Chase Field. Now for Brazil, they came within 1 win of qualifying for the last World Baseball Classic. They're trying to get back for just the second time. It would be their first appearance since 2013.
And they're going to do it on the backs of their pitchers. They are not afraid to get out there on the mound and chuck it. This team has played 13 games in the WBC and the qualifiers combined, and 6 of those games they have given up 2 runs or less. They're going to need that starting tonight against a good offensive team in Colombia.
Barry Larkin managed the club from 2012 to 2016. He was the skipper when they qualified for their first and only World Baseball Classic. An emotional one, a dramatic one, and sure enough, a low-scoring one. They held on to upset Panama 1-0, and the party began that night. Our party's just about to get started. It's Colombia and Brazil. Time for these two to tango. Lineups and first pitcher coming up next. But first, let's take a look back at Colombia's opener from the last World Baseball Classic.
Part of the order for Colombia, looking for the response after Mexico gets the first run of the game. Rodriguez, the swing of his Colombian career. He has Colombia in front 3-1.
That's a base hit, and Colombia's back on top.
2-2 is floated to the left side. 40 hop, and Colombia gets a run across.
Tying run is at third. Bottom 10. 2 outs.
Strike 3 called. Team Colombia takes game 1.
Welcome back to Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Tucson. It's the WBC qualifiers, second game of 7. First of 3 straight days worth of doubleheaders. Tonight it's Brazil and Colombia trying to put their best foot forward and represent South America at the next WBC. The managers are going over the ground rules at home plate right now, and for the first time we get a look at 38-year-old Jose Mosquera, Colombia's manager. And Steven, yesterday when we got a chance to speak with him, he told us that yesterday was Team Colombia's first official workout. And he really wanted to stress fundamentals, but the thing that struck both you and I is that before you win a game, he told us you have to win the clubhouse, and I think he's done just that.
Absolutely. Mosquera brings such a different dynamic as a manager because he's so young. He's played with multiple of the players that are on his team, but he has gained their respect because he's a tough manager. He has a lot of fun. He makes sure guys stay loose, but he is not afraid to lay down the law when he has to. And it's going to be a really big thing for this team to be able to play together as a team because, like you said, they just got together.
And the familiarity in that clubhouse is not only because Jose played with a few of his own players, but more so because of his success managing in the Colombian League. Caimanes de Barranquilla has won 4 of the last 5 Colombian League championships. So he said, listen, my resume and my winning speaks for itself. He's a confident young man. On the other side, you've got Brazilian manager Yuichi Matsumoto, 44 years old, and another guy that played with a couple of his own players, so we joked about that, now being the old man in the room. But one thing that he stressed to us, as a Japanese-born player who has ties to the country of Brazil, he has great pride and great honor wearing that Brazil uniform.
Absolutely. He's absolutely pumped to be able to be a part of this team because he thinks that they really have a chance to do some damage. He likes their pitching staff a lot. He thinks that they're going to be better fundamentally than Brazil teams we have seen in the past. Less mistakes on the bases, less mistakes in the field, and he thinks that that's how they're going to be able to win games in this tournament.
Let's take a look at Brazil's lineup. It starts at the top with DH Gabriel Gomez. Then it's Lucas Ramirez in right field, and the mainstay, the guy that has always hit in the World Baseball Classic, third baseman Leonardo Reginado. Dante Bichette Jr., former Yankees prospect, cleans up. He's at first base. Lucas Hojus at second. Victor Mascai in left field, and then the bottom third of Mateus Lelis, Vitor Ito, and Gabriel Maciel getting ready to take on a very, very familiar face. You know him, you've seen him. It's 34-year-old Julio Teheran, still chugging along. He did have a cup of coffee with the Mets just last year. The Cartagena, Colombia native, 13 major league seasons starting in 2011, a 2-time All-Star, and just the 3rd Colombian-born pitcher in MLB history when he debuted for Atlanta back in 2011. He has had an unbelievable career. Those 2 All-Star appearances, trailing only Edgar Renteria's 5 for the most among Colombian-born players.
And he got up so early. He was in the big leagues for so long, and he's only 34 years old.
Unbelievable. His only World Baseball Classic appearance came in a start against Canada in 2017 when he allowed just 1 run over 5 innings. That was a 4-1 win for Colombia's first in the WBC. And he comes right down the chute with heat at strike 1 on the DH. One of the catchers here for Brazil, Gabriel Gomez, just 20 years old, out of Atibaia, Brazil. And he is in the Reds organization, which is playing with their Dominican Summer League squad the last 3 years. And he's hit well. 314 average, 932 OPS in limited action.
High on base guy.
Teheran just coming with gas right now. It's 1-2.
And Teheran may have lost a few ticks on the fastball, but he's always been able to get good movement on his pitches. He's got a very deceptive delivery, and that's going to play even with a little bit slower fastball. And I'm excited to see what he's got.
Bouncing ball left side. Gio Urshela knocks it down, and we saw that plenty in game 1, Stephen. A tough infield here in Tucson. And Gomez is on to get us started on this Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and guess that right in front of home plate is probably really hard because we're seeing some high bounces and a lot of spin coming off those balls that are bouncing right in front of home plate. And so a play like this is going to end up being tougher for Urshela to make because you see that it had so much topspin that it ended up staying really low to the ground instead of hopping back up. And, an unfortunate error to start this game for Colombia.
And I think Gio Urshela would tell you, as a plus defender at third, that he needs to make that play. It's an error to get things started here tonight. So Tehran right into the stretch. Strike one on Lucas Ramirez. His father, 12-time All-Star Manny, in the building tonight. This is a 17th round draft choice last year by the Angels. Just 19 years old.
You don't have to be shy. You said you got to shake Manny's hand. That made your day.
And I got to tell you, I heard that he was down on the field. I had to run down there before the game to get a couple of pronunciations in order. And got a chance to shake his hand.
Amazing. What a great player.
And arguably the best two-strike hitter I've ever seen, especially from the right side. There's a strike on the outside, 1-2. On the Weston, Florida native Lucas Ramirez out of Plantation, Florida. American Heritage High School has produced some quality big leaguers. Tristan Casas, Mark Vientos, and former World Series champ with the Royals, Eric Hosmer. Good swing by Ramirez.
That was a good pitch by Tehran. It was a good swing as well, but to get that fastball in on the lefty to make sure he can't get his hands extended, I'm going to go ahead and guess if he's Manny's son, he probably likes to pull the ball.
We know that Manny used to kind of deke pitchers. He would chase it one, try and get him to throw it again, and then he'd pounce on the mistake. 1-2. Chopper to the right side. Arroyo fires to second. The return to first. And Ramirez beats it out. And he's wearing his old man's number 24, so the fielder's choice forces out Gomez.
Just a solid little defensive play there from second base. Nothing too fancy, but good footwork, good feet into second base. You like what you see. We saw some good infield earlier today from Germany, especially Alex Schmidt at shortstop. I think we'll see some more of that in this game.
This is a fun infield for Colombia. You've got the veterans at the corners, Urshela and Rodriguez. And then the youngsters up the middle, Acuna and Arroyo. We'll talk plenty about Michael Arroyo, the second baseman for Colombia. But here's the man from Curitiba, Brazil, another 34-year-old. It's Leonardo Reginado. He was a key member in Team Brazil's lone World Baseball Classic appearance in 2013. Chopper back to Tehran. PFPs on display. Inning-ending double play. And the vet looks real sharp as he faces the minimum in the top of the first. Overcomes the error, and Colombia is coming up for the first time.
Oh, what's Bo's real first name? Is it Hiroshi, Hisanori, or Rodrigo? This guy.
Team Colombia ranked number 13 in the world. This is a fun lineup. Michael Arroyo will lead things off. He is MLB Pipeline's number 98 prospect coming into this season. And then it's the veteran, surprisingly still a free agent, Harold Ramirez. And the veteran, Reynaldo Rodriguez, due up third here in the first, as Bo Takahashi begins his night on the mound for Brazil. 28 years old out of Presidente Prudente. 7 minor league seasons with the Diamondbacks and the Reds. And there's Arroyo delivering on the goods. The 20-year-old leads things off with a single for Colombia.
Take a look at Bo Takahashi and what he's been able to do. You know, he's an interesting character. He played a lot in the minor leagues, but he does not strike many people out. He never has. And in recent years, he's been playing in Japan and Korea. And with the Cebu Lions, he has had not many strikeouts. Out of the pen, I think he had just 48 strikeouts in 72 innings. So not something he's going to be looking for, but kept a low ERA because he keeps the ball on the ground. Good sinker, good splitter. He'll keep the ball down.
Steven, here's your old teammate. A vicious cut from Harold Ramirez, who fouls it off.
It's not very often you're going to see a non-vicious cut from Harold Ramirez.
I think this is going to be a huge stage for Harold because he's a free agent, and he has struggled on the international stage when playing for Colombia. The last World Baseball Classic, he was just 2 for 15. And then in the qualifiers all the way back in 2016, he was also 2 for 15. So he's primed to break out. But he's immediately behind in the count here, 0-2.
Definitely a kind of guy you want to get in on to open up that outside corner. Looks like they're going to try to go way away here.
And he sends a sharp grounder to second. Hoju to second. Ito back to first. And now both teams have rolled one.
That's a good fundamental double play right there. And just like I was just talking about, Takahashi's entire goal is to keep the ball on the ground. He's going to look for those double play balls when people get on base. The kind of guy who you want pitching to contact. And a nice easy turn there at second to short. You got to love to see it.
In game one, we saw the pitch counts get elevated pretty early. So far, Takahashi, 5 pitches and the double play. And now here's Mr. Baseball in Colombia, Reynaldo Rodriguez. And we wondered, and we asked his manager, Jose Mosquera, could this be the 38-year-old's last dance? And Jose said, no, not even close.
No, definitely not. This guy's going to play till he's 50.
Little hesitation in the windup from Takahashi. It's a ball and a strike on the 38-year-old who's appeared in more than 1,800 games, dating back to his rookie year in 2006, close to 2,000 hits, 300 home runs, and over 200 steals. He has been a superstar, and now he breaks his bat, drawing some ooze from the crowd. Steven, we still have cars making their way inside the complex. We had a feeling we might see some people here tonight, and they have come out in droves.
Oh, we already have a pretty good crowd, but I mean, if you're showing up now, you're going to be waiting in line for a little while.
Good thing we got here as early as we did.
Yeah, no kidding. What was it, 8 a.m.?
About 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Good long day of baseball, you know?
Oh, yeah. We got 2 more after this, big boy.
Absolutely.
So Rodriguez gets a new piece of wood. Another guy who's played with Jose Mosquera for Caimanes de Barranquilla in the Colombian League. Takahashi with the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He gets Rodriguez. And both pitchers only have to face 3 in the first. No score between Brazil and Colombia. We're just getting going on Sunday night.
With 350 days of sunshine a year and wide open spaces ready for you to explore, Tucson is perfect for your next adventure. Check us out at visittucson.org or find us on your favorite social channel.
Yeah, he's not senior. I don't know if he's playing.
See yourself on the video board. Tweet or Instagram your pictures using the hashtag WBCQ-Tucson to see your photo. Team Brazil, first baseman number 77, Dante Bichette Jr.
Julio Teheran only needed 11 pitches in the top of the first, and then Bo Takahashi came out and only needed 9 for Brazil. Dante Bichette Jr. cleaning things up here tonight for Team Brazil. And he goes after the first one from Teheran and fouls it off. Dante Bichette, now 32 years old, out of Orlando, Florida. His father, four-time All-Star Dante Bichette Sr., won the National League home run title in 1995. Was runner-up to Barry Larkin in the MVP race that year. Incidentally, as we told you during the opening portion of our broadcast, it was Barry Larkin who led Brazil to their first WBC and their only WBC back in 2013.
Yeah, and in the WBC in 2016 in the qualifiers, Bichette Jr. hit 400. He had a 700 slugging percentage, and he was in that cleanup spot. And
how about that?
Yeah,
he just got rung up on a pitch violation, and Julio Teheran, without throwing a pitch, is going to have his first strikeout.
that is now 3 so far today, including the first game and this game. We're going to keep a tab on that because this is something new for these players to have to deal with.
Listen, you said it, partner. Guys need to catch up, and so far it's been a factor here on day one. First pitch strike, Teheran nice and easy. And he's got Hoju behind in the count right away. Lucas Hoju, that's how it's pronounced, but it's spelled R-O-J-O. You would think Rojo, but that's not it. Bouncing ball to short, Acuna on the second hop. Nice gentle toss. 5 pitches, 2 outs. A quick look back at Dante Bichette Jr. Not alert to the pitcher right there. And home plate umpire Trevor Daniger was all over it.
So that's the part of the rule a lot of people don't quite know. With 8 seconds left, the batter has to be in position looking at the pitcher. Otherwise, they are deemed not ready and therefore in violation of that pitch clock.
Did you have it when you played, or did you
just my last season?
Yeah.
Yep.
I figured you were right at that cutoff point. Victor Mascai. 2 outs, bases empty. And it's a ball and a strike on the Brazilian left fielder. Mascai, 24 years old. This was a guy that you and I talked about a little bit because he was in the Astros organization for 4 years, but they let him go after the 2022 season. He showed some power, but got close to a 35% strikeout rate, which, well, some guys might keep a job that way, but at the minor league level, it's tough to crack.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to strike out 35% of the time, you have to have some crazy outlier stat that the team wants to keep giving you chances to try to figure out that strikeout rate. And if you don't have anything that really jumps off the page, it's tough to hang around.
Mascai, during that time, a .221 career hitter, over 181 games. He was a backup in the qualifiers a couple of years ago. Got 1 plate appearance and struck out against Panama. So another guy that's climbed up the ranks, and now he's starting, but he goes down looking. And Teheran opens and closes the second with a strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. An inning and a half gone by. Still looking for the game's first run.
That's why I work in Northern Trust. That's why I work in Northern Trust.
It's the World Baseball Classic is in full gear, and you should be too. Official World Baseball Classic merchandise is now at store locations throughout the ballpark. Make sure to stop by and get your caps, jerseys, t-shirts, collectibles, and more before it's too late.
Big crowd on hand. Big crowd on hand for Game 2 of our Sunday night doubleheader. Alongside Stephen Brault, I'm Greg Caserta. Great to be with you all over the world as we get going for 7 games in a span of, what is it, 5 days?
Yeah, with an off day thrown in there.
Doubleheaders today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Off day Wednesday. And the second and third place game to wrap it up and decide the second and final seed, or team rather, to get into next year's WBC. Gio Urshela is the hitter for Colombia. 33 years old, signed a 1-year deal with the A's right before Christmas. Just over $2 million for the veteran utility man. Coming up here tonight for Colombia. And he loses his bat. Look out, that one sails into his dugout. I figure a couple of his guys will have some fun with him.
Yeah,
with that one.
They tell you to hold the bat loose, make sure you're not choking it, you know, keep your body loose, keep those muscles loose. Maybe that's a little too much, you know, just try to keep a grip on a little more than that. That just slipped out of the top hand there. Look at Mascara. He is unenthused.
Urshela's another one, like Harold Ramirez, who has struggled in Colombia's appearances in the last 2 WBCs. A combined 2 for 28 across 7 games. Takahashi deals away. It's 1-2.
I like what we've seen from Takahashi so far. Obviously, very small sample size, but doing a good job of moving around different sides of the plate. Good command shown so far.
Good stop by Lelis in his crouch. But if you go back 12 years ago, when Gio Urshela was just 21 years old, he was 4 for 12 in the WBC qualifiers. Last 2 years with the Angels, Tigers, and Braves, close to 200 games. And now he gets to join an Oakland team that's switching homes. Urshela, deep fly into the right field corner. Ramirez running it down. Ramirez reaches out. He won't get it. It bangs off the wall and comes back towards the infield. So much for those struggles on the international stage. Gio Urshela pulls in with a leadoff triple and a little cha-cha at the end.
That's a good swing. Get a pitch on the inner half and just fight it off the other way. Got the barrel to it enough that he was able to get it out of the reach of the right fielder Ramirez. A good try out there down the corner, but really what you see from here is Gio just staying inside the ball and pushing that ball that way, and he's got enough pop. And look, this is, you know, this is Arizona. You get some extra carry on those fly balls, but close play from Ramirez and a healthy bounce for Urshela to get to third.
Certainly carrying better now than it was earlier today. That was a heck of an effort. Lucas Ramirez had a lot of ground to cover. Watch Urshela. And then once he sees it, he knows he's got it. Barely breaking a sweat.
That's the old 60% jog triple. You gotta love it.
Called strike on Jair Camargo doing the catching, an RBI chance, with Brazil keeping the infield back. Margot, one of 4 catchers on the Twins 40-man roster. Had a chance to make his big league debut last year. And on 0-2, he rips one just foul down the third base line.
Yeah, that's a close one right there. It's always tough with the ball bouncing over third base or first base. It's truly a judgment call from the umpire's perspective. Let's take a look here. And this is right on the line. And then, yeah, that bounces off to the outside on the other side of the base. So clear call there, but close.
Good call by Alan Izaguirre down at third.
He used to have that leadoff runner at third base, trying to just push this run across, and Takahashi's looking for any way to do that, but the infield's back, so a ground ball will get the job done.
Corner's a little tighter, 2-2 on Camargo, who got his opportunity when Carlos Correa went on the injured list early last season. Debuted as a pinch hitter on April 16th in a loss to the Orioles, and only ended up playing 5 games with the Twins. 2-2, bounce back up the middle, that gets the run home. Hoju gloves and throws, 1-0 Colombia.
And that'll do it. Just got to keep it to the middle of the field. As long as you keep it out of the reach of the pitcher, which that was close, Urshela is going to be able to score there pretty much no matter what. So that's getting a job done right there. Great job manufacturing that run. I mean, I guess a triple's not really manufacturing too much, but making sure to execute in those situations is paramount for winning in this tournament.
And Hozier was positioned well. They had him shaded out up the middle. An RBI ground out from Camargo makes it 1-0 Colombia. Bases cleared. For former Mets top prospect Dilson Herrera. He sprays it the other way, and that one bleeds inside of first. Herrera thinking two. He's on his way. The throw from Ramirez, it's a strong one. And he is safe. Dilson Herrera with a little dance at the end. Colombia's got it working here in the second. Another extra base hit off Takahashi.
And really not too much here hit all that well. Even Urshela's was a fly ball, but in the right spot. That one a weak ground ball in the very right spot, right down the line. First baseman unable to make his way over there. Unfortunately, Bichette playing more in the hole in between first and second. And a good job getting out of the box. He wants that second bag, you know? I love that.
Strong throw from Lucas Ramirez, picking it up in foul ground. Lots of room down there in right field. So now 6 batters face for Bo Takahashi and 3 hits allowed. Brian Buelvas, the next one up. And he takes a look at strike one. Buelvas, 22 years old. Actually played in high A last season in the A's organization. 80 games and then 33 late in the year at Double-A. And he was a guy that showed some pop. 43 extra base hits, an OPS of 773.
I think it's important here for Takahashi to realize that he is doing his job. Things are not going his way right now, but he's done a great job keeping the ball on the ground, getting weak fly balls. So you want to make sure that you don't try to do something different. Try to come out of your skin and be somebody that you're not. 2 ground balls here gets the job done, just like 2 strikeouts would.
Bo Takahashi, one of those Moonlight Graham stories I'll explain in just a moment. Big hole on the left side. And he hits his mark, 2-2 on Buelvas. It was August 18th, 2019, when the Diamondbacks called Takahashi up to the big leagues. But he was optioned back to the minors 2 days later and never got into a game. 28 years old, and you think about that sometimes. 3-2. To come that close to wear the uniform, just a great honor in and of itself. But even just to cross that white line the one time.
I know. The phantom player, as we call them. It's tough because you are in the annals as a big leaguer forever. However, you don't have any stats, and it's just kind of a bummer. But still good for him to make it.
Count's gone full on Buelvas. And he goes down swinging. That's a good fastball. Takahashi digs deep for his second strikeout.
Yeah, reared back a little bit there. Got a little bit extra on that fastball. Registered at 92 on the gun, but a good pitch away that Buelvas has to reach for. He's clearly looking for some off speed there, and just way behind it. You take a look there. Good carry from that fastball from Takahashi.
Now we get a quick mound visit for Bo, where this catcher Mateus Lately is headed back behind the plate. Gio Urshela led off this second with a triple into the right field corner. Jair Camargo grounded out to bring him home. And then Dilson Herrera snuck a double inside the right field line. It brings up the number 8 hitter, the right fielder Jesus Mariaga. Another Cartagena native, 26 years old. He was 0 for 3 in the last World Baseball Classic. And this one's lashed through the left side for a base hit. Herrera's on his way in. And he stops right there. That was hit so hard. And it was the right call at third base to stop him. Victor Mascai came up with a strong throw. And Mariaga's standing at first base wondering, oh man, just what if I could have had an RBI.
Yeah, so close there, but like you said, he hit it too hard. Sometimes that's going to be a problem to getting that run in from second base. You see, this is perfectly on the barrel. Just a breaking ball that stayed in the middle of the plate by Takahashi. And good base running here by Mariaga. He was ready for, if that throw went home, he was going to take second base. Obviously that did not happen, so he stayed at first. But now you got first and third, 2 outs, and a 9-hitter in Acuna coming up.
Here is Francisco Acuna, 25 years old, out of Barranquilla, with runners at the corners. And he stares down ball 1. Now, this is an odd one because he has spent the last 7 seasons in the Pirates organization, but he's only played in 67 games over the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's sometimes, you know, you find yourself in a spot in the minor leagues where it seems like there's always people going in front of you, and you have to find a way to get through that.
Flips a grounder to short, right at Ito, funnels it to Hoju, and the inning comes to an end. Brazil strands 2, but they do play to run, and it's 1-0 over Brazil as we move to the 3rd.
Sunshine Mile. Please visit rionuevo.org. Thank you, Rio Nuevo District. Leading off for Team Brazil in the top of the 3rd, catcher number 9, Mateus Vargas.
Rules and regulations with Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Caserta. Here they are for the World Baseball Classic qualifiers. All games played according to the provisions of the 2024 official baseball rules. Pitcher use limitations, 3-batter minimum, mound visits, and the like. We'll get into more of these specifics as this one churns along. And so far, Julio Teheran doing what we expected. 3 up, 3 down in each of the first 2. A couple of strikeouts in the 2nd. And embarking on the 3rd, just over 20 pitches.
And both of these pitchers, Takahashi and Teheran, we're seeing good command. You know, this is the first 2-ball count that Teheran has been in, and it's because he's been really hitting his spots. He's got good enough stuff to be able to get through this lineup multiple times with his command the way it is tonight.
That one got in on the trademark Lelease with a soft pop-up to 2nd, and Michael Arroyo is there for out number 1. Julio Teheran, we talked about his resume and his pedigree. 2-time All-Star selection with the Braves. He was the first winning pitcher at what is now Truist Park. That was April 14, 2017, against your hometown Padres.
Oh, yeah.
And coincidentally, his one appearance with the Mets last season was just a spot appearance against his former team in Atlanta. Gave up 4 runs in 2 2/3 and was summarily DFA'd the next day.
Yeah, I like watching Teheran pitch. I think he's what I would call in the Goldilocks zone with his fastball. It means he gets down below the ball a little bit.
That one's hit on one hop by Ito, right at short. Acuna in plenty of time for out number 2.
Yeah, he gets down below the ball a little bit, and he kind of pushes it, gets behind it, and so it gets a little bit more ride. So even though he doesn't have a ton of velocity and he doesn't have a ton of spin rate, even on that fastball, it still gets good ride because he throws it from a good place.
So now I have to ask, does that make him a drop and drive guy?
Not necessarily. Okay. That's more in the legs based than anything else. But you see the way he throws, he's kind of pushing the ball instead of necessarily coming down through it.
Gabriel Maciel pulls back on the bunt, takes a look at strike 1. Teheran trying to go through the order in just 3 innings and under 30 pitches. Urshela pulled in at third. Only base runner for Brazil was the error by Urshela, and this should do it. Rodriguez right there at first. And so far, Julio Teheran is firing blanks. He's en fuego, and Colombia is up 1-0 over Brazil. So how do they build these rosters? The final roster for these qualifiers made up of 28 players, minimum of 14 pitchers and 2 catchers. Injured players cannot be replaced once the qualifiers started, and surely that's happened here today. And the qualifier officially begins upon the Game 1 lineup card exchange, so we've got the last 2 covered as we bring you Sunday Night Baseball worldwide. He's Stephen Brault, I'm Greg Caserta. Our producer Mike Trainer and the rest of our great crew back with you in Tucson. Back to the top for Colombia. Mikel Arroyo fouls it back. He singled on a 1-0 pitch in the first inning. First time through the order, Colombia with 1 run on 4 hits, although they left 2 at the corners in the second.
Arroyo, of course, opening a lot of eyes. But this is a good time for him as well to prove that he can make it on the big stage.
And he does not turn 21 until November.
Yeah, must be nice. You know, he gets comps to Howie Kendrick. That's what he gets most comp to, and that is a great person to be compared to.
That is a pro hitter who retired a World Series champion with the Nationals in 2019 and still does a lot of work in youth baseball. He's part of MLB Develops and does a lot on that circuit. Always good to run into Howie a couple of times a year out here in Arizona where he makes his home. Mikel Arroyo, as I told you before, number 98 on MLB Pipeline's top 100 list. The Mariners have more top 100 prospects than any other team in baseball with 7. That includes catcher Harry Ford, who was part of that Great Britain team in the last WBC. A little bit more on Mikel Arroyo.
You know, he's got a lot of talent going for him, and number 98, I think a lot of people see that and go, well, that's not even that high. You have to realize how many players there are to possibly make that list in the minor leagues. That's a very good place to be, and a guy like him can jump up that list with another good year this year in 2025.
A strikeout for Takahashi, his 3rd. Here's Harold Ramirez, and boy, Colombia's got to get some stickum on those bats because we saw Urshela lose one, and now Harold Ramirez needs to go.
The immediate
one down.
Immediate toss of the pine tar to him before he even gets the bat back. You know, I think this is something that maybe in, you know, the way that they are working their hitting to try to make sure they're staying relaxed, this might be part of the reason. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You just want to make sure that you're keeping that. And that's in the exact same spot that Urshela threw his bat.
0-2. Fouled away. Was Harold a top 100 prospect at one point?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I think he was always just, you know, he's on the very good list kind of player. When I played with him, I was in high A, and he could absolutely drive the ball back then, and he's only gotten bigger since.
Another 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez is now 30 years old, but he first played for Colombia 10 years ago in the Pan Am Games. He was the second youngest player on the roster. Lots gone right for him since then. 1-2. And he squirts one back up the middle. It's a base hit. And the 5th of the night for Colombia. Ramirez didn't get much on it, but he muscles through. And it's a 1-out base hit.
Yeah, 2-strike count, shorten up, find the barrel however you can. You know, that ball wasn't necessarily scorched, but a good place to hit it, number 1. And number 2, just a good 2-strike approach to get yourself on base with 1 out. Looks like we got some lineup card questions from Yuichi Matsumoto, the manager with Brazil. We had a good talk with him yesterday as well.
Yes, we did.
Very knowledgeable about his team and what he wants to get going for this WBC qualifiers, but I have no idea what's going on.
I'm not sure either. This is 40 pitches right here for Bo Takahashi. And I'm wondering if that Brazilian bullpen door swings open here, because, yep, that's what we got. First, it was the conversation with the umpire to go through the changes. The entire infield converges, and Brazil's going to the pen. We'll tell you who's coming out right after this.
Pitching for Team Brazil, number 22, Thiago da Silva.
Not too bad.
For Team Colombia, first baseman number 16,
Stephen Brault and I went through this in Game 1. We'll remind you throughout the course of this Tucson qualifier. And we saw what happened with Bo Takahashi. He threw 40 pitches exactly. And so he is eligible to return at some point down the road here in Tucson. Of course, one of the stars from earlier today in Germany's 10-run rule win over China was starter Marcus Solbach, who struck out 6 over 6 1/3. Ended up at 87 pitches. Germany opening up with a big win, ending it in 7 innings and a 10-run rule win. But now we've got Thiago da Silva. One of the more interesting origin stories here at the Tucson qualifier. He's 39 years old. He'll turn 40 later this month. He was born in Brazil and is part Japanese. He speaks Japanese, Spanish, Italian, English, and his native language of Portuguese.
It's insane.
So like Stephen Brault, well-traveled,
Oh.
very cultured.
I'll tell you what, I never got anything close to playing in Italy and in China and in Venezuela, Mexico, USA, Nicaragua, and the DR. That's a crazy world traveler right there. Really impressive that he's still going and he gets punch out.
That's a walk. Pitch walk. Rodriguez never really got one close. So you wonder if Da Silva was ready to rock when they called him out of the pen. But again, there's a lot more to his backstory, because in 2009, he was able to get Italian citizenship through marriage and was actually on Team Italy in the WBCs in 2009, 2013, and 2017. Ground ball left side. Ito the shortstop to second one. Back to first. There's Da Silva. Fired up as he hops off the mound. And Dante Bichette Jr. on the receiving end. Nice job, boys. Bang, bang. Second double play. Rolled by Brazil. One more time on the twin killing. It's Ito at short. Footwork. Feed. Hoju on the first. 1-0 Colombia after 3.
Throughout the course of tonight's game, teams will be adhering to the World Baseball Classic tournament rules. There are specific pitcher use limitations that will be enforced. Unless the pitcher needs to complete a batter's plate appearance, pitchers may throw no more than 85 pitches per game. The Southern Arizona Sports, Tourism, and Film Authority would like to welcome some special guests to tonight's game. From Pima County, Vice Chair of the County Board of Supervisors, Analia Grijalva, and District 3 Supervisor, Jennifer Allen. And from the city of Tucson, Mayor Reynaldo Romero, and Vice Mayor Lane Santa Cruz. Welcome to the World Baseball Classic, and thank you for your support. Team Brazil in the top of the fourth. Designated hitter number 10, Gabriel Gomez.
He's like, I'm good.
Motoring into the 4th inning here at the Tucson Qualifier alongside former Pirates and Cubs pitcher Steven Brault. I'm Greg Caserta. Great to be with you on Sunday Night Baseball around the world. Gabriel Gomez taps it to second. Arroyo with the sachet throw. And so far, no hits for Team Brazil. Julio Teheran had the error at third base committed by Urshela, with Gomez leading things off, but nothing since for the Brazilians.
Oh, he's just been putting the ball exactly where he wants to, getting weak contact. He does have 2 strikeouts, both of those looking, one of them on a pitch clock violation.
Ramirez offers up the first one. He fouls it away.
But just doing a great job of staying off the barrel, getting early contact, early weak contact, and that's how you get to the point where he's in the 4th inning now, already with an out, and still has not thrown 30 pitches.
Strike 1 pitch. Tip back for strike 2. Talked about Lucas Ramirez, just 19 years old. And there's Manny. Manny's had the old school headphones in. I admire that. He's not an AirPods guy. And his son is down on strikes. 3rd punch out for Julio Teheran. Manny goes back inside.
Yeah, he's seen enough. Wires, wires don't run out of battery. You plug that bad boy in, it never runs out of battery.
That is the most profound thing you've said all day.
Thank you.
You're just getting better as the game goes along.
You know what? I really appreciate that. This is what I'm here for.
By the way, here's my pick to get Brazil off this hitless run here. Leonardo Reginado, who hit into that 1-4-3 double play that was masterfully started by Teheran to end the 1st.
The perfect PFP.
It does exist. And he's quickly behind 0-2.
I mean, Tehran's getting the ball to move both ways and commanding the ball moving both ways. That's really hard to deal with as a hitter because you kind of got to choose, am I going to try to hit the ball coming into me or the ball going away from me? You saw there that sinker just right under Hejinato's hands, and now he can go away with it.
That one got away.
Looked like he tried to slow that one down a little bit.
And just to put it in perspective, the fact that Tehran got Hejinato in and of itself is an amazing feat, because Leonardo in his first 10 WBC qualifying games was 21 for 38 at the plate. That's a 553 average, but the numbers don't matter. History doesn't matter. So far, Julio Tehran is dialed in. He is stone cold, and so is Team Brazil. No hits through 4. 1-0 Colombia as they ride the back of their 34-year-old vet.
Sorry, buddy. Say no, get it. So when, as soon as he gets in the car, I go inside, and I talk to him, and he's looking up, and he steak, medium, pushing out a little bit of extra spice. What is the...
Colombia, captured number 77,
Could be worse.
All aboard the Julio Tehran Express, 4 hitless innings for the 2-time All-Star. And Colombia is clinging to a 1-0 lead. Thanks to this man, Jair Camargo, who had the RBI groundout, which scored Gio Urshela following a leadoff triple in the second.
This Colombia team is doing a good job of getting hits. They're getting on base, but unfortunately, they haven't been able to get many across. Only the one after the triple by Urshela and then the ground out by Camargo. So you got to find ways to get those runs across when you get them on base. That has not been the problem yet. Obviously, they have 5 hits, haven't been able to score any more.
Da Silva full windup, a little wiffle ball action right there. It's 1-2.
The pitch was nasty.
I think some of the Colombian hitters are trying to figure out the timing from the 39-year-old Thiago Da Silva.
Yeah, how are you going to time up 89 and then a 68-mile-an-hour changeup? That's tough to do.
See if he breaks out an ephus right here. Full wind, a little hezzy and a 1-2. Good spot. All right, Brault, let's see what we got on this last one here.
This is something you don't see very often, just taking everything off of it. I mean, that's nasty. It's got a lot of drop to it, a lot of velo change.
2-2, he got him. And Camargo chases in the dirt for out number 1. Now, one thing I have to say, as great as Julio Tehran has been, and he has been unhittable, quite literally to this point, there is action in the Colombia bullpen out beyond the right field wall. There was a right-hander playing catch a moment ago. Beg your pardon. That got Brazil looking out in the right field bullpen. Brazil's got a righty playing catch. Just some light stretching going on for Colombia.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Thiago da Silva be used in a shorter capacity. You know, when you have the stuff that he does, doesn't have the velocity really, but is going on full trickery, right? Yep. Changing speeds, getting good movement. Not a guy you necessarily want to put through the lineup multiple times.
Hit the nail on the head. Locating that fastball on the inner edge. 1-2 on Herrera, who snuck that double down the right field line. And remember, Da Silva came in. He walked Rodriguez on 4. Got the inning-ending double play, and then started this inning with a strikeout of Camargo. Looking for another. Instead, it's served into right center field. Long run for Ramirez, but he won't get there. Loses his hat in the process. 2-strike hitting. Dilson Herrera's got his second double.
So he gets a double down the left field line, and then he takes that one, or sorry, down the right field line. Then he takes that one into the right center field gap. And a good approach there. A guy in Da Silva, he was expecting to not see that fastball twice in a row. So he got the fastball, and then he decides, I'm going to wait back and see if I get something off speed here. That one's left up over the middle of the plate. Really the first big mistake we've seen Da Silva make, and a good job taking advantage of it. Now you got a runner in scoring position, and Huelvas coming up to the plate.
Huelvas struck out in the second. That was the 6th hit for Colombia. 4 singles and 2 doubles from Dilson Herrera. Pitch home, fouled back by Huelvas.
It's kind of fun seeing Da Silva pitch, right? We don't see this very often in baseball anymore. The guys who have to change how they pitch throughout their career, and when they get to this later stage, at almost 40 years old, able to figure out ways to get guys out just based on being hard to figure out.
0-1, looped over short. There's a base hit. Herrera being waved in. Again, it's Mascai with the cannon from left. Close play, but not in time. Herrera's in, and Brian Huelvas makes it 2-0.
Good swing there. Good job of getting his hands inside and pulling that ball to left field. And this is kind of why you don't see these pitchers as often anymore. It's harder to get away with any kind of mistakes, and guys can put bat on the ball even if you execute your pitches. So Da Silva here, unfortunately, just once again leave this one a little bit up, and just enough of that barrel to get that in the left field. And a good play out in left field. And unfortunately, Mascai just unable to get that throw all the way in. Kind of had to come around it and couldn't really get that coming through it. So he had to generate all the power on that throw from his arm instead of getting to use his legs. And a good turnaround third, a good slide in the home, and that'll get the job done.
And I think that's going to be the parting shot for Thiago Da Silva, who opened this inning with a strikeout, but surrendered a double to Herrera, an RBI single to Huelvas, and 2 relievers ready to rock behind him, because Brazil had a righty and a lefty playing catch. We'll see if they take the baseball, but not just yet. Da Silva is going to give them at least 1 more. And if you go back to the second inning, Steven, remember Herrera doubled, and then 2 batters later, Mariaga hit that single into left field. That time they held Herrera up at third. This time they let him run, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, and it's reminiscent of the throw, right? When you saw that beat Colombia in the WBC by Jose Batista out in left field. One of the biggest, most exciting moments in the WBC history.
Runner on the move, and Mariaga with a big swing and a drive foul.
But unfortunately, once again, this does not go the way, or this one did go the way of Colombia. So there you go. They've earned that run back. Mariaga got that single his first time up. Be interesting to see how Da Silva is able to find his way out of this. Going to try to get a ground ball here up into the middle of the field. Try to turn that double play. Mariaga, not a great runner. This is definitely what you're going to be looking for here.
Mariaga's been on the indie ball circuit. And this one's cracked into left field. Hanging up there. Mascai unable to complete the catch. He went down, but couldn't secure it. And the runners both advanced on a ball that was drilled by Mariaga.
Tell you what, another ball hit right on the nose by Mariaga. We've seen him hit 2 laser beams out to left field. And that one just tailing away from the left fielder, Mascai. Makes it a little bit difficult with a little bit of topspin, and so he just unable to squeeze it.
When did that ball pop out? Was it before his glove hit the ground? Yeah, right before he was coming down to that grass.
See that just tail away towards the top of his glove.
So that ends up being the final blow against Thiago da Silva. A couple of singles and a couple of runners on base for Colombia, up 2-0 on Brazil.
Now pitching for Team Brazil, number 4, Hector P.O.
We like built our stage last year. Yeah, 13. 18 somewhere for me.
With Caimanes.
This one still gives a lot of Colombians nightmares. It was in this spot right here where Jose Bautista gloved that fly ball, came up throwing to the plate, and got Oscar Mercado on an inning-ending double play to cut down the possible winning run. That was in the 2017 WBC. And eventually the DR put it away with 7 runs in the top of the 11th on the way to a 10-3 win. That was Reynaldo Rodriguez who hit that fly ball to left. The former big leaguer Hansel Robles. This one hit high in the air to left field. So Mascai getting targeted out and left. This time he hangs on. It was not easy for him. Bit of an adventure out there for Victor Mascai, but he gets Hector Villarroel out number 2 here in the 4th.
I mean, that ball was hit sky high, right on the barrel by Francisco Acuna. Just unfortunately a little bit too much underneath it. If he's, you know, a fraction of an inch a little bit higher, that ball is way out of here.
So Thiago da Silva ends up going 1 inning. Right now 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And it's the left-hander Hector I should say, Villarroel, getting a swing and a foul off the bat of Michael Arroyo.
Villarroel played a little bit of time with the Rockies organization, played 4 years with them, never got above rookie ball.
Getting a visit from his catcher Mateus Lelis.
Yeah, remember this is old-fashioned baseball. They don't have the pitch comms in their hats, so they got to go over signs, got to make sure they got everything down with the runner on second.
Which I love.
Me too.
Personally. I don't mind the pitch comm, but I prefer the old school.
I just think it adds a fun aspect to, you know, you can steal signs on second base if you can figure it out.
There's a strike, top of the zone. I don't think Arroyo liked it. It also removed nail polish from the game, as we know.
Yeah,
that's a big loss.
It's a real bummer. You always see catchers walking around with bright white fingernails. Usually they just use whiteout, not even nail polish.
First and second, 2 down, and Arroyo puts a charge into 1. Deep center field, Maciel near the track, he's got it. Jumping up and bracing himself for impact up against the wall. 405 feet away. Michael Arroyo gave it a ride but Gabriel Maciel got there first. A beautiful play in dead center field. Deepest part of the yard. And oh, by the way, that blue batter's eye is live. It's in play. Maybe we'll see that later. 2-0 Colombia after 4.
I got a feeling they don't want to see me back in the news today. Yeah, is that right? I never really clock in. What we doing? Time is money, I get it. I never considered to drop in. Oh, I like that.
For your Road to Recovery begins. Keep your eye on the ball. It's a head shuffle. First baseman, number 77, Dante Bichette Jr.
Brazil still searching for its first hit against Julio Teheran. Dante Bichette Jr. takes a look at strike one. Bichette, one of 4 strikeouts so far for Teheran, has recorded 12 outs on just 35 pitches. That first pitch here in the 5th, number 36. 0-1 on the way, and Bichette sends a high fly ball tailing into right center field. Huelvas running out, but it's the right fielder Mariaga getting over to put it away for out number 1. Let's go back to 2016, shall we? Dante Bichette Jr. and a kid by the name of Bo. And there's Bo on the left. He has gone on to great things with the Blue Jays almost 10 years ago when they both teamed up and got to play for Brazil.
That's crazy. Look how young they are. 2016, I mean, that's 10 years ago, man.
I think you and I were a long ways from here, too.
That was the year I made my debut, the big league debut, 2016.
If I recall, Matt Holliday scared you a little bit?
He did. Still does.
Lucas Hoshin down to third. Gio Urshela with the play of the day. Wow. There's that smile from Gio. We love it. Show all them pearly whites to the national audience.
2 balls hit on the screws here against Teheran and 2 pretty solid defensive plays. That play in the outfield was good. This was great. Immediate reaction, no step, just a dive. Man, that is a good third baseman. I played against Gio Urshela in AAA a lot, and he did this a lot. Just so fundamentally sound, so quick with his first movement. Great job making that catch.
The hot corner sizzling for Gio Urshela, who committed that error to begin this ball game, but nothing has happened for Brazil since.
Yeah, and you really made up for it, more so than made up for it with that play.
Teheran just carving up this Brazil lineup. That being said, we have seen 2 of their better swings here in the 5th.
Yeah, it'll be interesting going through this lineup. You know, we're going to get to the bottom of the lineup here soon and see if Teheran's still in there to face that lineup for a 3rd time through.
Left side of the infield pulled out off the line. This one struck well. Left field. Ramirez is back. Harold's there. Side retired. More of the same. Julio Teheran threw 5 hitless innings, and we're halfway home on this Sunday night.
Tomorrow's quite the newest section of the Loop. Tee off at top-notch golf courses or attend an award-winning free community event like this month's Founder Day Parade and festivities. Whether you're here to play, explore, or just taking a stunning sunset, Marana is your perfect day trip. Marana is close to everything but far from ordinary. Plan your visit at discovermarana.org. Stick around after the game for a one-of-a-kind fireworks show. We want everyone to enjoy the show while ensuring a safe and comfortable environment. Fireworks are exciting, but we understand that the loud noises, bright lights, and sudden bursts can be overwhelming for some. Fans are encouraged to stop by guest services to learn about the resources available for those who may have sensory needs.
Julio Teheran, the 13-year MLB veteran, through 5 innings, has given up no hits, only 1 base runner, and that was erased in the first inning after the error by Gio Urshela. He's got 4 strikeouts. He's throwing the ball however and wherever he wants to right now, looking great out there.
First pitch swinging, Harold Ramirez sends a bouncing ball to short, and there's Vitor Ito to throw him out. Harold Ramirez now 1 for 3.
Quick 1 pitch out. Something you'll always take as a pitcher, especially in a league like this, tournament like this, where you have to be quick. But that's the story right now. Julio Teheran. We talked a lot about the pitching of both of these teams in the pregame, and we've talked a lot about it together. And look, Brazil has given up a good amount of hits. They've given up 7 hits, but they have kept this to only 2 runs, kept this game close. And they need to, because that guy right there, Julio Teheran, is just unhittable so far.
Reynaldo Rodriguez, high pop-up down the right field line. And it bounces up into the grandstand, 0-2. I'll tell you what, Lucas Ramirez getting a workout out in right field. He's done a lot of running out there tonight.
Long runs. They have him playing more so in the right center field gap. And so getting down to the line, which is just a pretty big outfield, 340 down the lines, 375 in the gaps, and then 405 in center. Just a lot of space out there to cover.
You hit the nail on the head, partner. 340 to the corners, 375 into, I guess you'd call them the shallow alleys, and then 388 as they get deeper before it protrudes to 405 feet in dead center. And again, that tremendous batter's eye, that blue out there, is in play. If it hits off the batter's eye and comes back into the field of play, it's a live ball. So you better Mark Sweeney it and get it over that batter's eye if you want a home run to dead center.
I mean, if we're talking about that, might as well also say that if you want to hit a home run here, you have to hit it over the chain link fence that is on top of the wall. If you hit that chain link fence and it comes back, it's also still in play. So you really got to get it to get it out.
Rodriguez took a tight one, but the veteran quickly shakes his head no.
I also just realized that this is a symmetrical field. You don't see that very often.
Very rarely. Payoff. And there's a walk. Second one for Rodriguez, who has the only base on balls in this game. Now he's got 2 of them.
It always seems to happen that way. If there's not many walks in the game, maybe 1 or 2, it always seems like it's just the one guy.
And going back to the dimensions and what you have to do to get a home run out of here at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium, it's why Donald Lutz hit it in the perfect spot. Just hit it into the bullpen. You don't have to worry about any of the quirkiness here.
Right.
Gio Urshela, off balance down the swing. He fouls it away.
Looks like this Colombian offense is trying to get out there early, get a first pitch that they like, and try to do some damage quickly. And it seems like it's been working for them. They got 7 hits, but still looking for the multiple big hits in an inning.
Urshela scoops one out to center. Maciel, much easier play this time. And there's out number 2. Let's go back to that play from Gio Urshela in the top of the 5th, Steven. This one, the web gem of the day down at third base. This was in the top of the inning. It was ripped down to third off the bat of Lucas Hoju, but Urshela right on top of the bag to keep Brazil hitless. And that $1 million smile. And it's going to be heading to California with the A's this year. as he embarks on his age 33 season.
I just love to see plays like that because they're pure athletic reactions. There is no thinking there. That is, the ball is hit, and somehow his brain did the math to know where it was going to end up. And so the ball ends up almost catching you as much as you catch it. And that's just a reaction play. That's hard to do. And the way that you learn how to do that is by playing third base for thousands and thousands of innings. And that's exactly what Urshela has done.
Jair Camargo struck out and brought in a run with a ground out. And so far, Hector Villarroel has done his part. He's retired 4 of the 5 he's faced. Rodriguez leading at first after the walk. There's a strike.
And it's important to put in perspective. These are guys from Brazil that they're playing in winter leagues. You know, some of them played in any ball, but pitchers who are getting out professional hitters, because that's what Brazil has done traditionally. They pitch and they focus on that, and this is something that is, if they're going to win this game, they are going to have to score, of course, which so far they've been unable to get on base. But if you can pitch, you can keep your team close, and that's half the battle. You know, keep your team in the game against big offensive teams like Colombia and give your offense a chance.
And I think if you had told Brazil you'd be in this game at 2-0 despite being out hit 7-zip, probably say, okay, we could live with that.
Yeah, we'll take that.
But time is now running out. Reginado hugging the line at third. Runner goes on the 3-2. Once again, it's fouled away by Camargo.
Camargo, good battle here. So far, he's grounded out, but he got an RBI for that ground out, so productive, and he struck out.
Camargo's basically spent a full season's plus worth of games with AAA St. Paul and the Twins organization the last 2 years. 33 home runs during that time, 114 ribbies. But he has struck out 213 times, so there is still that slight hole in his offensive game. Another 3-2, swing and a miss. There's a strikeout on cue. Served up and delivered by Hector Villarroel, keeping Brazil in it. But they still don't have any hits against Julio Teheran.
Support of the 2025 World Baseball Classic Tucson Qualifiers. Hey, D-backs fans, you can watch all D-backs games in market, both live and on demand during the 2025 season for only $99.99 a year with D-backs.tv. Visit D-backs.tv for more info. In the top of the 6th, catcher number 9,
Stephen Broth left his telestrator at home, but I'm circling for you at home right now watching that hit column for Brazil.
You're circling the circle.
I am.
Well, I guess a zero's an oval.
A zero circling a zero. It's almost perfect. No hits for Brazil. That's the story as Teheran comes back with a close one, ball 1. Not going to get them all, Steve.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I think maybe that one a little bit slower out of the hand of Teheran. Broke a little bit more. I think it may have grazed the bottom of the zone, but
that time he gets the swing and miss. Mateus Lely, 7, 8, and 9 here for Team Brazil. And as Steven dove into it, and we touched on it a little bit earlier. 13 games for Brazil, if you combine qualifiers and their lone appearance in 2013 in the main tournament. 13 games played. They've allowed 2 runs or less in 6 of them. So this is part of their DNA, and that's where we are tonight. 2-0 game as we start the 6th.
And you know that they want to manufacture runs. The problem is you can only manufacture runs if you get guys on base, and they have not been able to do that. They've only managed to get that first hitter on by the error and weren't able to take advantage. So you got to figure out a way to get guys on base, and then you can worry about scoring.
Ron still jacking it up when he wants. 2-2.
I just want to say that if he were to come out of the game right now, he could still pitch in 2 days. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think you just let him cook, right?
Yeah, you let him go.
Good adjustment there by Lelis to foul it back. Now, I love the story about the 22-year-old Lelis, who at one point played for the Nippon Blue Jays in the Brazilian Baseball Championship last season. That's the top division in Brazil. And Nippon's won a league-leading 12 championships since 1993. This one hit high in the air, left side of the infield. Acuna, the shortstop, coming down to get it for out number 1. So here's the magic number for Julio Teheran. And when he throws this next pitch, he will ensure that he will not be pitching for the rest of this tournament.
And so you might as well use all of them now.
Oh, look at this. A bunt to the right side, and Vitor Ito breaks up the no-no on pitch number 50.
That was a great bunt. Wow. That was a fantastic drag bunt. That's exactly what you want to do as a left-hander. You want to make the first baseman come field that ball and have the pitcher have to get over to first. As long as you get that by the pitcher, you're in a good spot, especially there with the speed of Ito. Look at this, where this is placed. First baseman has to go all the way to the second base position, and especially, what are you going to do as a first baseman? Somehow you got to get that ball to first. Tried the flick behind the back of the glove. I don't think that would have done it anyway. Just a perfectly executed drag bunt.
What do we got here? The infield has huddled up on the mound. Teheran at 50 pitches. This is his only appearance here at the Tucson qualifier because of the pitcher limitations and restrictions. I don't think there's much concern. Jose Mosquera's out there. Everybody's smiling. But I was just worried because it looked like one of the athletic trainers was accompanying Jose to the mound.
You know, us pitchers, we have a tendency to look like you may have gotten hurt when you're frustrated because a guy just got his first hit on a bunt to the infield. You had to cover first base, and it didn't work out. Maybe that walk back to the mound didn't look so good, but it does look like he's kicking his ankles out a little bit, so maybe there was a little bit of a roll there we didn't see. Who knows? But looks like he's fine. We'll continue, but yeah, finally a base runner with 1 out and the first hit for Brazil. And now maybe you can try to figure out how to get that run across.
Sometimes all it takes is one. A Vitor Ito bunt single. The first hit for Brazil here in the 6th. Now it's the number 9 batter, Gabriel Maciel. Urshela still in at third. And a quick throw back to first to check on Ito. Maciel grounded out to Reynaldo Rodriguez over at first base to end the 3rd. He was part of the MLB Elite Camp in Brazil in 2014 and 2015. And then the Diamondbacks took a flyer on him in June of 2016. Ground ball right side. Arroyo to his right. Fires to second. No return throw. And so far, Michael Arroyo has got really good footwork over at second base.
He does. You can see one of the reasons that he's really liked. And look, I know he gets to Howie Kendrick, but I see a lot of Jose Ramirez. You know, he's a shorter, stocky guy. He's got a strong arm. It looks like he's got a lot of power in that bat. But here's just a nice play, moving to his left to turn and set his feet, make a good throw to second base. Make sure 100% you get that out. And then if you can get the out at first, great. But a nice play there to get the out at second.
Back to the top for Gabriel Gomez. Throw back to first. Awfully close. Reynaldo Rodriguez was pointing to the dugout.
Did you want the replay? Okay.
You could hear the home plate umpire, Trevor Daniger, asking Team Colombia if they wanted a replay look. But Colombia declining. I'll tell you what, after what's gone on here in the 6th inning, the last thing Brazil needs is to get nabbed on the bases. Well, there's Maciel after the fielder's choice, and he bluffs. It's a ball and a strike on Gabriel Gomez. Get another look at it here. A strong throw from Camargo from a knee.
It's a great throw. And that kind of play right there, that can always be a little bit scary because you want to make sure that you're not getting that runner in scoring position via the error throw down the right field line. So good job, well executed, just couldn't quite get him.
Gomez behind in the count, 1-2. And for the first time, there is action in Colombia's bullpen out beyond the left field wall.
More of a courtesy action than anything else. Some warming up, some jogging around.
You don't think that Tehran's in any danger right now?
I think Tehran gets to decide how long he wants to go. I'm going to be honest with you. As long as things are going well and he's under that pitch limit, I think it's his call.
Trying to make it through 6, shutout. This time he gets his man. And Tehran takes care of matters himself with a pickoff to get Maciel and extinguish the threat. He's done everything tonight. And Brazil has their best opportunity fall by the wayside. This time Rodriguez with the stab and the tag. 2-0 Colombia.
For the inning.
See yourself updating for your Instagram. To see your photo. Team Colombia, designated hitter, Coventry,
Dilson Herrera leads things off here in the 6th inning for Colombia. They would love to tack on a few more to this 2-0 lead. Herrera, who turns 31 tomorrow, celebrating early with a couple of doubles and a run here tonight. Bless you, Stephen Brault.
Thank you. You didn't have to say anything. I do probably hear it. Yeah, that's fair.
But it's a cough button. You made it a sneeze button.
Yeah, you
so
gotta do what you gotta do.
Props to you, my friend.
Improv.
1 strike offering, letter high, 1-2. Dilson Herrera has played for manager Jose Mosquera with Caimanes de Barranquilla in the Colombian Winter League the last 4 seasons. So he's been around for all their success. He was on the 2022 Caribbean Series Championship team. And he had a great winter playing in Colombia. Hit .339 with 23 ribbies in just 33 games. So his teammates have seen this. They've said, all right, 2 doubles and a run. No biggie.
Normal.
Squibs this one off first. Dante Bichette Jr. slides. Valiant effort. And you get a look at those flowing blonde locks. Julio Tehran getting some hugs in the dugout, so we think that at 54 pitches and 6 scoreless innings, that could be it for the big righty.
And what a game for him. I mean, it's just impressive to think whenever you have less than 10 pitches per inning, he averaged 9 per inning. That is so impressive.
Payoff to Herrera, swinging a high fly ball to center field. Maciel is there, and he puts it away. He has been pretty sharp in center field. A couple of balls that have taken him back, but it's tough. 405 to dead center.
Yeah, not to be lost here. Villarreal doing a great job keeping this Colombia offense off balance. Getting inside with the fastball on these righties. Not high velocity, but just not letting them get their hands extended. It's hard to get power when you have fastballs bearing in on your hands over and over.
He's been the stopper tonight. 2 hitless innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. After Bo Takahashi made the start, gave up 1 run despite 5 hits and 2 1/3. Thiago da Silva gave up a run in his lone inning. So it's been the left-hander, Villarreal.
There's 2 more right there on the inside corner. Both of them just missing off the inside corner of that plate. But he's going to be looking to continue getting in there. I think now you may see something a little bit away to try to get a rollover.
Pitch on the way to Cuelvas. Got a good look and fouls it off. Cuelvas had the RBI single, which made it 2-0 in the 4th. But Colombia, despite these 7 hits, unable to deliver the knockout blow.
They do still have the Mediterranean chicken.
I mean, they're doing
with runners in scoring position.
Brazil's doing everything they can to stay in this game on the pitching side. Unfortunately, they finally get their first hit, and then you get a fielder's choice, and then picked off of first base by Tehran. Things like that you have to avoid because you need to be able to get runs however you can. Now, with Tehran coming out of the game, at least we believe so, then now maybe the offense can say, all right, well, at least he's gone. Whatever we have to deal with now, at least it's not him.
And there's a walk, so Cuelvas aboard for the 2nd time. And the 2 base runners so far for Hector Villarreal have come on walks.
And really not a bad at-bat there for Villarreal. Pretty good pitches executed, just missing right off the inside corner, and that one just missing a little bit up and away. But now that brings up Mariaga, who's had an incredible game so far, just hitting laser beams. Did get an error for that last one, though, which I don't really agree with, but, you know.
There was the single through the left side in the 2nd inning, which we thought might score Dilson Herrera, but they stopped him at 3rd base. And then back in the 4th inning, it was a hard liner into left. Victor Mascai came in, went into a slide and just couldn't hang on to it, but that ball was barreled up. So Mariaga probably thinking he should have a 2 for 2, but right now it's 1 for 2. One of 7 Colombia hits with this 2-0 lead.
Mariaga has not played in a summer baseball league for the last 2 years. He's only 26 years old, but both of those seasons have been with Caimanes de Barranquilla, which is exactly where manager Jose Mosquera coaches, right? He's the manager of that team. And so maybe there's a reason that Mariaga is here, because Mosquera knows something, sees something that other people haven't seen, and he knows that Mariaga is a guy he wants to have in his starting lineup.
Runner goes, great jump, throw down, no chance. And a pretty good deke to fool the runner for a moment. Cuelvas took a few steps off second after Hoju kind of deked him there.
Absolutely love the effort there. Good jump off the lefty. You're going first move. Just kind of hoping he doesn't pick over, but the deke sold well. I mean, if you take another half step, he's out.
So now Cuelvas, after the stolen base, taking his lead. Hoju, the 2nd baseman, the closest one in the area. Another glimpse at the stolen base, going on the lefty.
It's actually, look, I'm going to be honest with you,
right there.
It's actually pretty impressive that Cuelvas even knew that he did a deke. If you looked at, he just checked over his right shoulder and saw him jumping the other way.
Runner on the move to 3rd, but he's got to head back with Mariaga fouling it off. So a few times tonight, Stephen and I have talked about Caimanes de Barranquilla, the team that Colombia manager Jose Mosquera leads in the Colombian League. They've won 4 of the last 5 league championships, but where they really broke through was in 2022. They became the first team from Colombia to win the Caribbean Series.
Yeah.
And that really etched Jose's name, you see him right there, into Colombian lore. He was on the coaching staff in the last World Baseball Classic. And he had a feeling that when they dismantled things a little bit, they saw that the team had been fractured after their win over Mexico to start the tournament. He had a real good chance. And now Colombia's got a real good chance to add to the lead. Jesus Mariaga digging for second. He's in there with a ribby double. 3-0 Colombia. And I love that little twirl they do. They've got it all working tonight.
That's a great swing right there. Mariaga is on fire right now. He has had 3 balls hit right on the screws tonight, and that one, after going to left field, both the first 2 at bats, finds himself going the other way, and right out of the box says, you know what? I think I can get a double out of this. And that wasn't even a bad play out in right field by Ramirez. He just was unable to get it in time. Watch solid throw.
Before the little lasso dance right there, he did that little jog in place to get back to the bag. I don't know if anybody's having more fun tonight than Jesus Mariaga. And that likely chases Hector Villarreal from this game. He gave them 2 hitless innings at the outset. That's the only hit he allows, but it gives Colombia a 3-0 lead.
Now pitching for Team Brazil, number 34, Murilo Gouveia. Now batting for Team Colombia, shortstop Francisco.
The new right-hander for Brazil is Murilo Gouveia. A 36-year-old from Sao Paulo deals ball 1 to Francisco Acuna, the number 9 hitter for Colombia. Jesus Mariaga with that RBI double to make it 3-0 and end the night for Hector Villarreal. That was the only hit he gave up in his 2 innings of relief. And now Colombia smelling blood. And they want a little more cowbell. You can hear it down there in the seating bowl at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. What a crowd for a Sunday night. And they have seen a one-sided start to this game. 3-0 Colombia, 6 scoreless from Julio Teheran. And the favorites to win this Tucson qualifier. So far, so good.
Yeah, and huge here for Gouveia to come in and to shut this down. Not let that run from second score. Keep this a 3-run game, and it feels very manageable. For some reason, once you get to that 4, it starts to feel really far away. So huge here. A veteran in Gouveia, 36 years old. Made it to AAA in 2015.
That is cracked into deep left center field. Forget about it. One hop off the wall. Francisco Acuna pulls in with the double. Here comes another dance. Colombia's tacked on a pair, and it's 4-0 here in the 6th.
Looks like the bats from Colombia really starting to wake up. Not just hitting singles now, but driving the ball in the gap with authority. And right there, Acuna, who was last time up, hit a fly ball about 1,000 feet in the air to left field. Now squares one up in that left center field gap. Just a sweet, smooth swing. Barrel directly to the ball. Not much wasted movement there. And, you know, Acuna, not a big guy, but he's shown some thump.
5 of the 9 Colombia hits have gone for extra bases, and with first base open, an intentional walk has been issued to Michael Arroyo. So back-to-back RBI doubles from the 8 and 9 hitters, Marriaga and Acuna.
Left fielder, Denver.
And suddenly it's 4-0 Colombia.
Not a bad feeling for a young 20-year-old to get that intentional walk. I know it's situation-based, but still. And you got runners on first and second. Now Govea just needs that ground ball double play.
Imagine intentionally walking the unproven 20-year-old to face the established veteran and the free agent Harold Ramirez, who's 1 for 3 with a single.
But has also grounded into a double play.
Big hole on the left side for Harold. And this could be the go pitch right here.
Yeah, this is definitely something Harold's going to be. He is not going to take a soft swing if he swings at this pitch.
Buckle up, boys and girls. This could be a big one. And sure enough, a chopper to third, Heginado to second, Hoju to first, and for the second time, Harold Ramirez bounces into a double play. Around the horn they go, but Colombia adds 2 more to the lead. It's 4-0.
Lawyers in America each year since 1989. The firm is focused on all forms of temporary and permanent visas to the United States. Olson Vasquez, PC, Tucson's premier immigration law firm since 1970. Visit ACINM.com for more information. Tucson, I have one question for you. Who wants a t-shirt?
A 4-0 lead for Colombia, and we'll take a look. Population of over 50 million people, the second largest in South America. The capital city is Bogota, which is the 4th highest altitude of any capital in the world. You got to imagine the ball travels pretty well out there in Bogota. And the world's 3rd largest producer of coffee, behind their counterpart tonight, Brazil and Vietnam. And I'll tell you what, Colombian coffee is my jam. I drink a lot of Colombian coffee.
Very specific.
Yes.
With Professor Brault. As we welcome you back to Tucson, he's Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Caserta. We've had a lot of fun here today, and we're just getting going. 2 more doubleheaders tomorrow and Tuesday. The opening games will be aired on MLB Network. And so far, it has been all Colombia. The new pitcher behind Julio Teheran, Ezequiel Zabaleta. 29-year-olds embarking on the 7th. And if you're Brazil, you got to be thinking this is our best chance, because they had no chance tonight against Tehran.
Well, sometimes you just need to see anybody else other than the starter, who's, when they're on their game, it's just you get into a rhythm, and that's exactly what Tehran did. He was placing the ball exactly where he wanted to. And finally, Brazil gets a little bit of life. They get the infield bunt single by Vitor Ito, and unfortunately, eventually that runner gets picked off of first base. And now you're at the top of the order, right? So everything you want is starting right here in this inning.
Fouled off again by Gomez. He was at the plate when Maciel was picked off over at first base. That's how Tehran closed out his 6th shutout. The 1 hit on the bunt single, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Only needed 54 pitches to get through 6. And now the train is a-rolling. Gomez down on strikes, and Zabaleta opens things up with a K.
Just kind of fools him there with the off-speed pitch. Zabaleta has some good stuff, and kind of mirrors what Tehran did. Not super high velocity, just the ability to spin the ball. And look at that line for Tehran tonight. 6 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no walks, of course, no runs. And they gave up 2 base runners.
Lucas Ramirez serves a base hit into left field. Manny's son turns around after a base hit the other way. That's a real one for Brazil. And they got a little something here in the 7th for the first time.
A sharp line drive out to left field. The last time we saw a sharp line drive, Gio Urshela said, nuh-uh. Unfortunately, he was not in range for that one. Good swing by Ramirez, just keeping his hands inside the ball, driving it the other way. Get himself a knock, get on base. And down 4, probably not going to see too much movement over at first. You got to build an inning here.
Ball 1 on Leonardo Reginado, who has been awfully quiet tonight by his unbelievable standards in the WBC qualifiers. Now, if you're wondering why Lucas Ramirez, Manny's son, is not playing for the Dominican Republic, it's because his mother, Juliana, is from Brazil. So he has the option, 2-0.
Yeah, and he's 19 years old. And to be honest, that DR team is going to be stacked. They're going to have a lot of big leaguers, obviously. And so just any opportunity to play in the WBC, pretty much anybody's going to jump at that opportunity. It's good to see him out here getting some reps against good competition.
And what's crazy is that when you look at the current WBSC world rankings, the Dominican Republic is ranked number 11 in the world.
Yes, but it is a weird thing. I've been trying to figure that out myself. Right? There's a lot of tournaments that go on in the world, and if you don't play in a lot of tournaments, you just lose out on points that other teams are going to be getting. So, for example, Chinese Taipei, ranked number 2 in the world, at one point ranked number 1, because they just get so many points. They're playing in so many tournaments and placed well in those tournaments. So it is interesting to see because they just squeaked through that qualifier, but we will get to see them, probably a more full team there for them as well.
That's a sleeping giant if there ever was one. Zabaleta comes set with the 2-2, and there's Reginado doing what he does best, slicing one the other way, cut off by Mariaga, and the throw comes in. Runner stopped at third, and everybody oohing and eyeing as Ramirez scrambles back to third base, but Reginado with a double, picking up right where he left off at pretty much every WBC.
Great for Reginado to be able to get himself out of that very short funk, but for him in the WBC, extremely long. 2 whole at-bats without a hit. That's just crazy. But just look at that swing. Just puts barrel straight to the ball, no movement, and line drive into that right center field gap. And because that ball's dropped, he's able to, advance to second base. And we'll take a look at this runner going around third. Look at Ramirez. He takes a little bit too long to pick up his third base coach, and therefore he has to really slam on the brakes there around third. So for all you folks watching back at home, make sure to seat your kids. Got to pick up that third base coach early. Try to avoid some injuries when you got to pump the brakes there around third base.
You can get away with that at 19 years old, but as you get older and older,
I think my knees would shatter. My ankles would fall apart. My hips would come undone. It would be bad.
Old brittle bones brawl. Say
that's what they call me.
Back-to-back hits. Ramirez single, Reginado double, second and third for Dante Bichette Jr. And suddenly Brazil has a little oomph, a little juice.
And I tell you, a lot of times it's just that mental flip. We're having such a hard time getting anything hard hit against Tehran. Seems like everything is going his way. And so he gets out, and it's a weight off of an offensive shoulders. And especially when you get that first hit, then things really start to unravel at times.
Pitch to Bichette. That's a good take, 1-1. Bichette is fly to right and struck out. Now he sees the 29-year-old from Maria La Baja, Colombia. Ezequiel Zabaleta, who's been on the national team before. Righty comes set. Colombia willing to give up the run, and Bichette waves at it and fouls it away.
Keeping the off speed away from Bichette here, trying to make him go the other way. No, Bichette's he's a big swinger. You know, he takes a very large swing, aggressive hacks at the plate. So now in a 1-2 count with runners in scoring position, we'll see if he shortens up.
This is a big moment here for Ezequiel Zabaleta. I'll explain why after this pitch. 1-2. He was in Colombia's designated pitcher pool in the 2017 WBC, but he was never activated. Then in the last World Baseball Classic, he was on the roster, but he never got a chance to come in and pitch. So this is, in essence, his big national team debut. Not counting some of the other smaller events he's played around the world. Bichette taps it to third. Urshela to the plate. Too easy for the second out of the inning. Every time they've needed a big defensive play, they've gotten it. And Gio Urshela with a dime to get Ramirez.
Yeah, I think right there, that's just, that's not the right choice there. That ground ball to third base. You know, look, you're in scoring position, there's one out. So you want to be at third base with 2 outs. And that bounce right there, especially, you got to know who's behind you, who's playing defense there. Gio Urshela is the best defender on the field. Yes, he made an error to start this game, but that is not who he is. You see how quickly he transfers this in a perfect throw to home in plenty of time. That's a bad base running mistake by Brazil for the second time in 2 innings.
Having that contact play on, not a good decision. Camargo took an easy throw, applied the tag in plenty of time. And Hejinato unable to advance from second. And my partner hit it on the head. Base running mistakes have cost Brazil here in the last 2 innings. The margin for error growing slimmer and slimmer. First and second for Hoju, but he stares down the barrel of 0-2. And remember, it was Hoju who hit that line drive to third that Urshela snagged out of the air. That came back in the 5th inning.
Zabaleta looking to try to snake his way through this inning unscathed.
He can sneak and snake. 0-2. He does both. And he punches out Hoju to escape Brazil's best chance in the 7th. They had back-to-back hits, but they couldn't score. Time to stretch. Colombia up 4-0. Stretch here at the Tuesday qualifier of the World Baseball Classic. 4 teams here vying for the last 2 spots in next year's WBC. Germany getting off to a fast start today. 10-run ruling China to open the tourney. And that was swinging a tapper to the left side by Rodriguez. Over to third for Hejinato. 4 out. number 1. And reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic, Inc. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. So Murillo Gouveia getting Rodriguez. And that's got to be a very promising sign. Colombia putting up 4 runs on 9 hits with an 0 for 2 from Reynaldo Rodriguez.
Yeah, against a really good pitching staff in Brazil. And we saw earlier, Germany came with the big bats. They got a lot of big boys on that team this year and showed a lot against China. It'd be interesting to see them take on the pitching staffs of these teams as well.
Urshela's been in on a couple of great defensive plays at third base. He also tripled and scored the first Colombian run in the second. Gouveia out on the mound, the 3rd reliever tonight for Team Brazil. And manager Yuichi Matsumoto. Nice hook. And Gouveia drops the hammer down on Urshela for out number 2.
That's just to freeze him. Good pitch. Breaking ball starts at Urshela and just unable to take the bat off of his shoulder. I mean, that's one of those pitches that if you throw it on accident, it's going to work. But if you throw it on purpose, that's even better. Look at that. That freezes him big. He's bending back, afraid he's going to get hit in the face. A lot of movement on that curveball.
I don't know if Gio Urshela's ever looked so surprised.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good pitch, like a lot of movement, right? That's a pitch that in the minor leagues, especially when you're looking at ABS.
Camargo, crack shot into center field, no chance. Maciel needs to play it off the wall, and that takes a big old hop. Coming back towards the infield. Jair Camargo has his first hit. It's a 2-out double here in the 7th.
It's a good swing right there. Just a solid line drive up the middle of the field. After striking out in his last 2 at-bats, that's got to feel really good. Had the RBI ground out his first time up, struck out twice, and then just gets a pitch down and away and gets the barrel to it, drives it out to center field. Never got very high, but it got pretty far.
10 Colombian hits, 5 doubles. So they haven't needed a whole lot of traditional power, but they're thumping tonight. And Camargo keeps the inning going for Herrera, who has 2 of those doubles.
See, but what I think is amazing about this is finish that stat line. 10 hits, 5 of them being doubles, and only 4 runs. So they haven't really broken out yet, but this offense clearly feeling good. It'll be interesting to see how that continues through the tournament.
I feel deep for Herrera, and why not? Even his last time up, he flied out to center field. I got to tell you, I know that Maciel wasn't able to get to that ball. He had no chance at it, but he has played center field out here very well tonight.
Absolutely.
For Team Brazil.
And that ball, I mean, that's uncatchable.
Yeah. Oh, look out. And a close play at second with Camargo just getting in behind the tag.
He'll slide it back into second base. Ended up being really close. Honestly, I think it may have been a timed play from the catcher. If they had done that a little bit earlier, the shortstop had cut in early enough that they would have been able to get him. Just took a little bit too long to get the pitchers moved to second base.
3-0 on Herrera. He was 1 for 3 in the last WBC. Hit a home run off Great Britain's Ian Gabot in Colombia's 7-5 loss. And now first base open, and we're just going to put him on right here. We've talked about Colombia, ranked number 13 in the world. And they went into the 2023 WBC ranked number 11, their highest seeding at the World Baseball Classic. They set up camp in Mesa, Arizona, and opened up pool play in Phoenix with that 5-4 win over Mexico in 10 innings. Reynaldo Rodriguez was 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. The bullpen let up just 1 run over 5 1/3, and it looked like they were on their merry way. But for whatever reason, and Jose Mosquera told us this, the clubhouse just fell apart after that.
Yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of frustration from some players who maybe not playing the way they want to in this tournament. But really, when it comes down to it, you have to have everybody buying in order for this to work. And Team Colombia right now looking like they're buying in pretty good. Team that has to qualify again, after qualifying the last 2 WBCs. They have not had an easy road getting back to the Classic. But once again, it looks like they're going to do everything they can to get back.
Here's that home run from Reynaldo Rodriguez, high and deep into the left field corner. Randy Arozarena couldn't get it, and it came off former Dodgers lefty Julio Urias. You got to watch that one all the way out of Chase Field.
It also bears, mentioning that when the actual Classic comes around, Colombia does have a few players that are not here that they will be able to add to this roster, which you think when it comes to the actual Classic, you'll probably get those guys like Quintana and Nabil Crismat, guys who have plenty of big league time that can really help this team kind of jump up as well.
Losing Quintana certainly hurts this team. They added Oscar Campos to take his spot, or excuse me, Carlos Ocampo, beg your pardon, to fill his spot in the pitching department. And you and I were talking about this today. Did we ever find out who Jose Quintana signed with? Because there were whispers that he was close to a deal with the team, but I don't think anything's officially materialized
Never
yet.
came to fruition. No, it seemed like he may have been going to the Mets. Instead, they signed Jose Urena instead of Jose Quintana.
One thing we can confirm that we heard today, and this is going to be wonderful news next year, and that is Albert Pujols officially named manager of the Dominican Republic team.
So exciting. He manages his first year in the DR. He wins the championship. He wins the Caribbean Series, and now he's going to get his chance at winning the World Baseball Classic.
Runner goes to third, and now it gets through. That was a great read by Camargo. Both runners advance on the wild pitch, so now it's Herrera up to second, and a 2 RBI chance here for Buelvas in a 3-1 count.
So after they check on Camargo at second and almost pick him off with that back pick, now Camargo gets a huge break because they are not paying attention to him at all. And unfortunately, the catcher, Lelis, is unable to find the handle there on a pitch that really wasn't bad. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that's probably a pass ball, because he tried to throw it before he caught it, which is something that catchers have to make sure. You got to see that ball in all the way first, and then you can make that throw down to the back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Murillo Gouveia still out there for Brazil, trying to keep the game right here. 4-0 tough, 6-0 even tougher. And that curveball just all over the place. Ends up being a walk, and it loads the bases for the last guy that I think Brazil wants to see right now, and that is Jesus Mariaga.
Yeah, tough situation here that Gouveia finds himself in. The double, the intentional walk, and now an actual walk.
Yeah, this is where things went haywire for China in game 1 of our doubleheader. Arthur Sugiguchi was playing catch in Brazil's bullpen. He likely gets the call right here, as Brazil manager Yuichi Matsumoto comes out, and there's the signal. So the right-hander Sugiguchi on his way in right after this.
Now pitching for Team Brazil, number 11, Arthur Sugiguchi.
There are 10 players on this Colombia roster with MLB experience, by far the most in this Tucson qualifier. In total, 33 Colombian-born players have played in the majors. 19 of them have debuted in the last 10 years. Orlando Cabrera always clutch, and Edgar Renteria, a 5-time All-Star, the most successful Colombian player. That one gets through the wickets. Runner coming to the plate, and it's thrown out towards shortstop. Camargo gets on his horse and scores the 5th Colombian run.
That's a tough one right there. Just squeaks through the legs. Maybe a little bit late getting down to that breaking ball. And unfortunately can't get a glove on it by the catcher Lelis. And that one really hurts. You get down 5 now, and just a big breaking ball. Maybe just broke more than Lelis expected it to. Tried to make a fantastic play. In that kind of situation, you got the whole infield back there backing you up. So you're okay with a harder throw there trying to make a special play, but unfortunately didn't go their way, and that 5th run feels really big.
One wild pitch from Artur Tsujiguchi. Hard grounded to short, scooped up by Ito. And he throws to get Mariaga and retire the side. But Colombia adds another in the 7th. Walks killed, and 2 of them come back to bite Brazil in the 7th inning. Great awareness by Jair Camargo. It's been all Colombia in this one. The big fella sliding in. Colombia 6 outs away.
Team Colombia, number 52, San Martin. Team Brazil at the top of the left fielder, number 17, Victor Estai.
First look at a Colombian left-hander tonight, just the 2nd reliever for Jose Mosquera. It's Javier San Martin taking over after Ezequiel Zabaleta. Struck out 2 in a scoreless 7th, worked around a couple of hits, and got helped out with some tough base running from Brazil. It's hurt them in the 6th, then the 7th. Now 5-0 Colombia, just 6 outs away on a night where Brazil only has 3 base hits.
San Martin in the big leagues as recently as 2023. Really struggled in AAA last year in 2024. The guy that I definitely crossed paths with at some point.
And he freezes Mascai for out number 1. Still showing that big league pedigree to start his night. Javier San Martin, the 28-year-old, still in the Reds organization, but spent most of last season at AAA.
Really good command. Just use that slider, cutter slider kind of combination. Not too much movement there, but good command. He threw a few of them. That's a tough pitch as a lefty to handle.
7 strikeouts tonight from 3 Colombian pitchers. Tehran with 4 over 6. And as I mentioned a moment ago, Zabaleta with 2 in the 7th. So as Steven mentioned, San Martin made his big league debut as a starter September 27, 2021 against who else but the Pirates.
Hey, nice. There you go.
Broken bat roller to second. Arroyo scoops it up, throws out Lely's. 2 quick outs. He threw 5 2/3, allowed just 1 run on 5 hits, and picked up the win. His first big league strikeout, Yoshi Tsutsugo.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a 1-year Pirate right there.
Yep.
He was there for 1 year, yeah. 2021. What time, when was it during the year?
End of the year, September 27th, final series of the year.
I was around.
And there was a strike to Vitor Ito. Was that when the bad blood was developing with Dietrich and all those guys?
No, that was past. That was 2019. That was crazy. What a year.
That was fun stuff. Tapper off the plate. Nice and casual. San Martin wings it to first. That was too easy. 3 up, 3 down. 7.5 gone by. Colombia on the verge of a shutout over Brazil.
Team Colombia, shortstop number 10, Francisco Acuna.
You are looking live at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium on a beautiful Sunday night in Tucson, Arizona. Sunday Night Baseball with former big league pitcher Steven Brault. I'm Greg Caserta, producer Mike Trainer, and the rest of our wonderful crew. Bringing you in 2 of our doubleheader. And your favorite name here, Artur Sugiguchi.
Yeah, my favorite pitch, too. That thing was big and slow. 57 miles an hour. That's an ephus.
We've seen some yackers here tonight, 2-1. Colombia's number 9 hitter, Francisco Acuna, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI double.
We actually saw Sugiguchi use one of those last inning, too, and he got an out with it. Big, slow curveball. Not something you see in the States very often anymore, obviously.
You look at his face and you go, man, he looks like a baby. That's because he is. He's only 19 years old. Has played on Brazil's U18 teams in the past, but this is a much tougher task. Facing a lineup with a couple of former big leaguers. Went back to that slow one, but Acuna's not biting. It's a leadoff walk, and that's another thing that I think we saw that so much with Germany, that a part of this tonight for the Colombian team, they've had 6 walks plus 1 more intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of there's been a lot of base runners on for Colombia. Early in the game, it was mostly the hits, and they weren't finding ways to score the guys when they got on base. Now we've seen that change. We've seen a few intentional walks. We've seen a few regular walks. And just a lot of traffic on the bases for Colombia, and they have been taking advantage of it in a big way. Like you said, 5 doubles out of their 10 hits.
Michael Arroyo fouls off the first one. Split last season between single A and high A. Hit 285 overall, a 909 OPS. 23 home runs, 89 ribbies. Did it playing at 19 and 20 years old.
Definitely a guy who's on the 30-30 radar going forward in his career as he grows a little bit, maybe get a little more consistent with the power.
He was 23 homers and 18 stolen bases a year ago. And he had a handful of accolades handed to him at the end of the season. Baseball America High A All-Star, a Baseball America Minor League All-Star, and a Northwest League postseason All-Star.
It's a good season. It's a good season.
Bringing home some hardware. And you know what would be even sweeter? Qualifying for next year's WBC.
Absolutely. And I think based on what he's showing, if he continues this throughout the tournament, you know, he could be the leadoff hitter going into that tournament as well. And a year later into his development and growth, could be a really interesting prospect in that #1 spot for them in the World Baseball Classic if they qualify.
A lot has to happen between now and then, but I know that Arroyo has the talent and the upside. Pitch a bit off the outside.
The fans love the eephus.
Yeah, they do.
Love it.
But you look around the seating bowl here in Tucson, and there's a lot of blue and a lot of yellow. A couple of flags draped over people's backs. They come out in full support and full voice tonight. This one hit very high in the air. Who wants it? Maciel charging in from center. And we have sung his praises all night. That one he's got to come in and get, but no problemo for Gabriel Maciel.
Yeah, a little bit different. It seemed like right off the bat, second baseman Hoju thought that was going to be way out in the center field. He was covering on the stolen base attempt by Acuna, and so nobody else has any chance. So Maciel has to run, I don't know, 150 feet to get there. Luckily, that ball's hit high enough, and he was able to close the gap.
Harold Ramirez has hit into a couple of double plays during a 1-for-4 night at the plate. There's ball one. Talking about youth and guys growing. Harold began his career in 2012 at just 17 years old. Breaks his bat, chopper to short, tailor-made. Ito handles it himself. Can't remember the last time I saw somebody hitting 2-3 double plays, but that's what happens. And now Brazil is down to its last 3 outs.
Pitching for Team Colombia, number 72, Pedro Garcia. Leading off for Team Brazil, center fielder number 3.
A snapshot of some Brazilian history. Barry Larkin, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2012, won the MVP award for the Reds in '95. So smooth up the middle. He was the one who led Team Brazil to its first and only WBC appearance back in 2013. Brazil just trying to get back into this one, but it's not going to be easy with Pedro Garcia throwing his first pitch for a strike here in the 9th. So far, bullets and blanks from this Brazil staff, which was headlined by 6 shutout from Julio Teheran. Good spot.
Teheran could have gone the whole game. I truly believe that. He was so efficient. It was, if he kept up the same pace, he would have made it 8 1/3. It's impressive. We saw Solbach do that in the first game, be very efficient, get through 6 1/3. I thought there was no way anybody was going to throw more innings than that. Tehran didn't today, but he absolutely could have.
You and I probably would have guessed if we see a starter pitch into the 5th, that's pretty darn good.
Right.
We saw 2 here on day 1, pitch 6+. So
very impressive.
The 3rd reliever of the night for Colombia, following Zabaleta and San Martin.
After.
They made quick work of Brazil in the 8th.
I think one of the differences in this Colombia team that you see is pretty much anybody who comes in the game has some affiliated experience. Even a guy like Pedro Garcia, he pitched for 5 years in the minor leagues for the Reds from 2019 to 2024. So he was released in 2024, but still, that's a guy who very recently was in affiliated baseball.
Fields the comebacker off the bat of Maciel. Quick flip, out number 1. In 2013, Brazil went 3-0 in the WBC qualifier. There's Barry. Weird to see him in a non-red uniform.
Yeah.
But he really did a great job helming Brazil. The upset over Panama, 1-0, allowing them to qualify for their first and only WBC. We also mentioned before that at one point, Steve Finley managed the club. They had some big names in that dugout for Brazil. Just kind of finishing the point on Pedro Garcia, Steven. 5 seasons in the Reds organization, 21 career saves.
Yeah.
So he
used
figures to be their stopper.
Yeah, used to being at the end of games. Really important to have guys that have that experience. There's something different about the last 3 outs. Everybody will tell you that. And it's hard to really glean if you're that guy until you just get thrust into the role. So somebody like Garcia, who's got experience there, can be invaluable.
He's throwing darts. He's been up at AAA. And he's got that tennis player grunt going every time he unloads.
Gotta love that. Have you noticed that the Colombian team is wearing the snapback hats?
Not till you just said it.
Yeah.
Especially when you got that little tuft of hair coming out the back.
Looks nice.
Pedro Garcia feathering it out tonight. Pounds the zone, 2-2.
I might have to find myself a hat for each team here, because I'm a big fan of the uniforms in the World Baseball Classic. Colombia's got 2 uniforms. They're wearing the yellows tonight. We'll see the blues tomorrow.
2-2. Fills up to Gabriel Gomez. Colombia just 2 outs away from following Germany into the win column.
Big first day for both these teams. In order to get that win, put themselves in a good spot.
He blows Gomez away. 8 strikeouts tonight for Colombian pitching. And they've barely broken a sweat.
Yeah, it's been efficiency throughout the entire game. There have not been any free base runners. Not one walk or hit by pitch by this Colombian pitching staff. And when you're facing a team that maybe is not as highly ranked as you, especially on the offensive side, if the best way to keep them off the board is to not give them any free passes. Make them hit their way into an offense. And as you can see today, Colombia's been forcing that, and Brazil has not been able to get up to the task.
Lucas Ramirez, last chance for the Brazilians. He's been one of the lone bright spots for this team. Hard single his last time up. He's shown a good arm in right field. But Brazil just couldn't muster any offense tonight.
Yeah, and you got to when something like this happens, you have to figure out, was it the pitching by Colombia or the offense by Brazil? And I think Brazil overall did a pretty good job of putting the ball in play. They just had a hard time coming by good, solid contact. And I think that catch by Urshela down the third baseline really hurt, because that would have been an extra base hit. That kind of makes things feel a little bit different, but still unable to capitalize in the 7th as well.
And now Brazil's down to its final strike. And they better get right, because they've got a quick turnaround tomorrow. 1 o'clock local time here against a German team. 11 a.m., beg your pardon, 1 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock here in Mountain Time.
Mountain Time's confusing because it doesn't change.
2-2. Inside outed and fan foul. The German team that absolutely blitzed China today. 12-2 final in 7 innings. The game will be simulcast on MLB Network tomorrow. And then the nightcap between Colombia and China. That will be at 6 o'clock local time. Make sure we get all our times right here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. There's the tag, and boy, Pedro Garcia lets out a yell as he closes it out in style. Back-to-back strikeouts to bookend a 1-2-3 ninth and finish off this shutout for Colombia.
That's the story of today. The pitching staff by Colombia holding Brazil to only 3 hits, no free passes. Ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts. Julio Teheran going 6 innings, only 1 hit. A bunt base hit was the only hit he gave up. Going 6 strong, 4 strikeouts. Zabaleta comes in, Garcia comes in, and man, it was a lot of fun to watch this Colombian team. That pitch is nasty, by the way. But a lot of fun
action right there.
This Colombian team, knowing that Brazil is known for their pitching, did enough offensively to propel themselves, especially when the pitching staff does what it does today. Julio Teheran, just the biggest story of the night.
And Pedro Garcia finishes it in true closer fashion. That man right there got it started, and he could have gone all night. Julio Teheran, 6 shutout, just 1 hit allowed on a bunt single. Just got a hug from his manager, Jose Mosquera. And the Colombians live up to the hype. The number 13 team in the world starts off pool play here in Tucson with a 5-0 win. And that wraps up our day 1 coverage as we get you ready for doubleheaders tomorrow and Tuesday. Brazil and Germany get us started. Then it's Colombia and China under the lights here in Tucson. What a day here at the Tucson Qualifier. Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium, a wonderful host. 2 more days of doubleheaders. Tomorrow, we've got more baseball. Brazil and Germany getting things started at 11 a.m. local time. For Stephen Brault, producer Mike Trainer, and the rest of our wonderful crew, I'm Greg Caserta saying so long for now from the desert. Thanks for watching the special presentation of the World Baseball Classic.